Mike has former drug, theft, and DUI convictions. He has spent more than half of his adult life locked up.
In my mind, he was just a bad guy, you know, and I told my wife several times, I'm like, I just hope somebody.
The federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
A local family calls it a tragedy. A father who has turned his life around.
You want the person to be rehabilitated, to be involved in their kids' lives. When I'm doing all these things currently and have been doing all these things, it doesn't feel like it would be the just thing to send me back to prison.
This is some of the most evil shit I ever heard in my life, and I'm not exaggerating at all, man. Trailhand Bill. It's another one. Some of them stories, it's a gut punch. It hit me so hard, man, in my soul and my spirit. I don't even have the energy to go through the usual routine. I'm not gonna let the story catch y'all off guard like it caught me, man. We're gonna walk our way through it. I've already listened to the whole video, man. I'm wondering though, when I was making that intro, because I didn't plan for it to be like that, I'm wondering who's gonna watch this intro and think it's one of the most discombobulated, all over the place intros ever, man. I mean, I did while I was putting it together, and I didn't change it for a reason, because it's very fitting for this damn story that we're about to get into. It's just crazy, bro.
A local family calls it a tragedy. A father who has turned his life around is back in prison.
Prosecutors are following the rules. The question is, what is justice here? Here is investigative reporter Angie Ricono.
Come in, bring it in some.
Mike Enriquez helps former prisoners get their commercial driver's license. He's been doing it for years since he got out of prison. It's the goal of the program, pay it forward.
If you can save one, that one can save others. And that resonated with me.
It wasn't always this way. Mike has former drug, theft, and DUI convictions. He has spent more than half of his adult life locked up. The most recent conviction was for being caught with a weapon. He was sentenced to 75 months in prison. Mike was out on supervised release in 2020 when he was caught with drugs, so he was sent back to prison.
In my mind, he was just a bad guy, you know, and I told my wife several times, I'm like, I just hope somebody sticks him when he's in there.
Mike's ex-father-in-law wrote to KCTV5 about drug charges. The night in question was actually before COVID. Mike was sent back to prison for the drugs, but it was considered a violation of his supervised release. Formal charges came more than 3 years later. In the meantime, that ex-father-in-law became a huge supporter of Mike.
He's different now.
Mike has an honest job. When he's not working, you can generally find him with his daughter. Milani is now 10. Mike is a father figure to little Leo, too. He's just 4. Family photos reveal everyday life, celebrations, and even baptisms.
And here I am now with, my life on track and standing on a firm foundation. Here I am facing losing everything.
Losing everything because prosecutors waited more than 3 years to charge him. And at this point in time, more than 4 years have rolled by.
Why wait till after they've rebuilt their life to take it all away and have to do the whole thing all over again?
We want them to rehabilitate. We want them to join society and be productive members of society, and he's done that.
For years, he's done that. He's gone from being a tax burden to a taxpayer. It leaves Mike's supporters questioning, why now? Mike has the same question.
You want the person to be rehabilitated, to be involved in their kids' lives. When I'm doing all these things currently and have been doing all these things, it doesn't feel like it would be the just thing to send me back to prison.
We were there at a recent hearing in federal court. Mike's bosses were there too, hoping a judge would listen.
I want the judge to know that, if you feel you speak for justice, let it be for justice, but also to help save people's lives.
When they change, you still have the old rules. It didn't make any sense to me.
We reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office for an explanation. They declined to make a comment, but point out this is within the statute of limitations, and COVID delayed some charges.
It sounds more likely that this was a low priority and it was at the bottom of a pile and it eventually got to the top of a pile.
We checked in with Peter Joy, a legal ethics professor from Washington University.
I just think it's unjust. If the government is going to bring charges against someone, they should bring them close in time to when they have sufficient proof to prove the crime.
Weeks later, Mike made a tough decision.
Today I'll be pleading guilty, and I'm responsible for my actions, so I'm just holding myself accountable.
Mike pled guilty to a lesser charge of possession with intent to distribute. Mike's public defender asked the judge to consider release until September sentencing, where he will argue for probation.
I've been a public defender for over 31 years, and Michael's case is definitely rare, in my opinion, and pretty extraordinary.
He called Mike the exception, but the federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
He was taken away in handcuffs, yeah. It's kind of sad to let somebody out and really make it and then pull them back in.
After years of turning his life around, it ends where it started. Mike is back behind bars. Mike's public defender focused on the positive. Later charges meant Mike had the time to connect with his family and turn his life around. He's hoping a judge can take that into account at his formal sentencing. He faces up to 20 years in prison. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.
I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm. Sometimes I be bragging on myself too much. I say I'm a fair man. I'm a fair man. I'm not always fair. Sometimes I'm an obnoxious jerk, man. But I'm gonna try to be fair here, man. I'm gonna be fair about this guy's alleged criminal history. I wasn't there. I can only go with the journalists, the information they're giving us. And I'm also going to be fair about our great country, man. I say, there was a time when I was like, I don't like America. I don't like, I was railing, I'm mad at America. And I realized, man, I'm still working this theory out in my mind and in my morality, but I think it's not America that I have a problem with. It's the pretenders. Like, they'll have you looking at what it is wrong. They'll have you looking at like the replica as the original thing, as the authentic thing, and therefore you'll be mad at that thing. Now, I think Americans, like we're normal, natural, regular people trying to work our way through, navigate our way through life, and then you got these pretenders out here, these replicas, and they come in all shapes, forms, and fashions like we do. And they're one of their common fashions that all of them come in is destructive. So, for me, I'm just saying I got to separate the two. And one thing that I think through when I'm doing that is how I know, our brother and sister humans are treated in other countries, man. And yes, it is 10 horribly and horribly worse than we will ever be treated over here, I think, right? So I have to say that. I'm not saying like we're just in some of those places, and I pray for them because we're all human. We're all created in God's image. But we're America, though. Like, that's where the dichotomy always comes in for me, even with the police. It's like, okay, but they police, though. You see what I'm saying? Not only does everybody else hold them to, like this, like I say, these invisible pedestals that they always find themselves on, whether they're placing themselves there or whether the masses are doing it, right? But hey, man, with great celebration comes, how often you watch them, what comes? Responsibility, accountability, etc., etc. You can't say, hey, I'm the king, look at me, all hail the king, all hail the queen. You can't say that, but then when the, London Bridge come falling down, or you knock London Bridge down, you like, it's not your fault, you're not responsible, you're not to be held accountable at all. It doesn't go together for me. The hell am I talking about? I mean, hell, 1 + 1 = 2. You ain't keeping up. If not, it's not my fault, it's yours. I'm rambling too much. Let me wrap this video up already. Yo, bro, I gotta be real, man. They say you out here, you are not terrorizing, but you out here, terrorizing, the legal statutes and, codes that you're supposed to be abiding by wherever you at. You doing your thing, big dog, but you owning it. Like, we can't get America or these cops to do, the replicated Americans or the cops to do, who are some of the replicated Americans. You saying, I did it. Even to the end, you like, I walked in the courtroom. I'm pretty sure you sat down with your family, your counselors, and whatever. It's like, this would be a good look, and it's been kind of what you've been doing the whole time. Like, nah, if I got caught wilding, it was me. Let me go and get this out of the way. And you would think with all of that, you see what I'm saying? America would be America and not a replica. But it's just a business. What did he say? Illegal? Some bullshit he said. Is it, bro? I bet you sitting at home with your family right now, man. I bet, you know what I mean, if your child or your loved one or someone close to you, like a cop riding down the street, or hell, you riding down the street and you get pulled over, you know, violating traffic laws, I bet you want things to be taken into consideration, right? Like the fact that, you know, you're a cop, or you a judge, or you an FBI agent, or you a federal prosecutor, right? You want some shit to be, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I get passionate. You want things to be taken into account. I bet you, I'm knowing, because I've seen you guys on video when you get into these circumstances. You want things to be taken into account in your favor. But the American, you remember, invisible pedestal, like we're better than everybody. We love our citizens. We go, it's a damn father, family. I just wonder when you say it's the business of the legal system, would you look his 10-year-old daughter in the eye and say that shit on me? I'm just wondering, because you cowards have a lot of audacity. Your probably would, to be honest with you. Lord forgive me, I'm doing too much. I mean, what he got to do? Now he done built up his life. He got a financial, I'm guaranteeing he got some sense of a financial foundation. He got some sense of a familial foundation. Bro, you got your ex-wife. Forget the ex-father-in-law. Forget that, Negro. Your ex-wife is on the damn camera saying, yo, y'all got to power down. What the hell are y'all doing here? The ex-wife. Don't nobody ex talk good about him. You see what I'm saying? Not like that. Y'all know him exactly. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's saying, yo, you know what I mean? Even though BS public defender, man, I hope this guy can get a GoFundMe. He's an exception to the rule. No, coward, he's not. He's really not. There are many more out here like him. You know what I mean? Post and pre. So shut your coward ass up. You're just up there saying something that sounds good. This one bothered me, guys. I'm rambling, so let me get out of here. I do hope, I've seen many cases like this, man. I've seen some wild stuff. I'm not even going to get into it. And usually I will say this, they get it right on the back end. I'm pretty sure this guy's in prison. Why is he in prison? Y'all can hold off or nothing. It's the business of say less, you mechanical coward, domestic terrorist. Usually they turn out right on the back end, but even just hearing this story, I'll tell you what got me, man. I didn't hear it in the beginning. That's the first thing they said, he's back in prison. So as the story's going on, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is going to work out good in the end. You know what I mean? It's a horrible situation. I'll tell you why I was feeling that, but it's going to work out good. And then in the end, it was like, nah, he's back in prison. But like I say, I missed it. They said that in the beginning of the video. But the thing that bothered me, no matter how this turns out, guys, is like, the dude really trying to be like a stand-up man, bro. Like in every sense of the word. You got people like literally, you know what I mean, co-signing this, attesting to this. And y'all just kick his legs out from under him, you know what I mean? And going back to what I say, now what are you gonna do? You like, come on, man. He's a man, he got us like that. This don't sound like now one of them mama boys. Homie sound like a man. What you think he gonna do to take care of what he gotta take care of? When he built and y'all, you know what I mean? And like I say, man, my final point is going to be this. No matter, let's just rewind the clock and say he never went to prison, but they was like, hey, we got to deal with this because COVID and all these BS excuses they made because they dropped the ball. And none of that concludes with him being in prison. For me, the only thing going through my mind before I realized that the man was back in prison is like, yo, he should really be able to sue these terrorist motherfuckers for some type of psychological death. That's torture, man. I'm out here trying to do my thing, bro. I'm living like I'm supposed to be living. I know what I did in the past, like debt to society, that shit don't matter. No, it don't matter. You know why? Because it's not you that would like for things to be taken into consideration. Y'all tortured that man. And then to put the nail in the coffin, you actually sent him back to prison? And you think we give a fuck with you, man? How could you ever come in my face having a rational conversation about why we should back the American government? I'm still working it out in my mind. I'm American, but I ain't American. I ain't no replica here. It's nothing in the America that I know, in the America that I've heard of, in the America that's always been passed down to me, verbally and otherwise, that would co-sign us treating other American citizens like this. It's not a criminal. It's a former criminal, former convict, former inmate. He's not a criminal. He's a grown-ass man trying to do what grown-ass men do. And instead of treating him like an American, y'all treat him like a piece of shit. Y'all wild as hell.
When he's not working, you can generally find him with his daughter. Milani is now 10. Mike is a father figure to little Leo, too. He's just 4. Family photos reveal everyday life, celebrations, and even baptisms.
And here I am now with, my life on track and standing on a firm foundation. Here I am facing losing everything.
Losing everything because prosecutors waited more than 3 years to charge him. And at this point in time, more than 4 years have rolled by.
I've been a public defender for over 31 years, and Michael's case is definitely rare, in my opinion, and pretty extraordinary.
He called Mike the exception, but the federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
I don't think they believe in the business of reaping and sowing, family. Not surprising coming from audacious cowards. We praying for you and your family, big dog. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.